All right, so we're back with this guitar. Last time we swapped the pickup out on it, I left it coil tapped, which led to a pretty big volume drop. So I don't know if I'll leave it like that, but I can always go back and twist a couple wires together. That's easy stuff to do. So last time also we found out that this has a coil tap, which was surprising for being, cheap junk pickup. But to replace it, I have an actual Bill Lawrence L500XL that I bought. This isn't the Bill Lawrence USA. This is the actual Bill Lawrence. I prefer these over the USA. I know Dime probably, from everything I read, had a Bill Lawrence USA, but I like the Bill Lawrence. I just think it's cool to go with the original designer of these and not some guy that's just ripping off Bill Lawrence's name. So you can buy these at wildpickups.com. I can't remember how much they are. I think they're like $80 or so, but they're handmade, USA, still made by Bill Lawrence's family, even though he is not around anymore. You can get these in all sorts of different colors, with the pickup ring out here in chrome or black. I just went with black because I guess that's what the original had. But yeah, these are cool pickups. I have currently another guitar that I haven't made a video about that's homemade that is having Bill Lawrence pickups put in it by somebody else. I'm having them do the coil taps, all that good stuff. I'll make a video on that maybe. Also, the original Dean from Hell had chrome Grover tuners, which I do have right here. Whether or not they're real Grovers, who knows, but they'll probably work. And then I have a set of new strings. I went 1052s because I like the heavier ones. I don't know what Dime had, but I like the heavy ones. So we will get started on removing this one, and I do want to do an impedance test. I still got to look up how to do that. I have a multimeter, so that should be something I am able to do. So what we need to do is disconnect this, this red wire on the right, and then these two grounds right here. We need to disconnect those so we can get this pickup wired in. I'll start on taking it out of the other side, and we are currently waiting for the soldering iron to heat up enough to melt that. So flip this stupid thing over and start with removing this. Alright, that was probably the easiest undoing of wires without damaging anything that I've ever done. Let's see how much this thing wants to fight me on its way out. Wow, that was incredibly smooth. Surprising. So let's see what's on the back of that. Nothing. But at least I have all this lead now, and I can measure the impedance when I get around to that. So throw that in the parts bin full of junk. Got Telecaster parts, because I got Telecaster I was working on, but stupid things happen. So alright, now this should be easy. I looked up the wiring diagram on Bill Lawrence's website. It says the white wire is hot. God, this thing does not want to focus. This is terrible. And then the black and blue wires, I believe, are your grounds that go together, and your red and greens are for your coil tap, which we will not coil tap this for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna put some heat shrink on this and then do the same with these, and then we should be able to throw it in. And then once we do that, I have new strings. But before we'll do that, we'll do the tuners, and then this thing should be fairly ready to plug in and hope it works and sounds not like crap. Alright, we ran into the same issue we did with this pickup, or no, it was the Dimebucker on the other guitar. For some reason, this guitar's pickup holes are a lot lighter, or wider than what they are on your normal guitar. So I'm just going to swap pickup rings, and that way it should bolt up properly. As you can see, they're kind of misaligned. So I will do that, and then we should be good to go. So I'm glad I didn't throw this thing away. Alright, got the pickup swapped, and as you can see, there are no gaps there. It just looks a little goofy with this rectangular opening versus what the Bill Lawrence had. Something interesting about these is the Bill Lawrence has these little rubber cylinders that they use instead of your normal spring. So Just another thing. Also about the Bill Lawrence versus the Bill Lawrence USA. That's a whole nother story in itself. And I don't know the exact story, but I do know that there is a difference. Bill Lawrence partnered with some guy, and there was a disagreement of sorts, and they went their own way. And Bill Lawrence made his own pickups under the Wild name, and the other guy trademarked Bill Lawrence's name and sold very similar pickups. But that is a subject for another day. So cool. Next step is I'll get this wired up and hope it works. Alright, so since we're not going to have this be coil tapped, we will just throw some heat shrink on here. And the red and green wires on a Bill Lawrence. Let's see if I can do this and record without making this look like a disaster. Just touch those together, get it all nice and melted. Ow, that's hot, obviously. Cool. So that's done. And then the black and blue wires will go together. We'll twist those together and do the same on that end. Okay, so this wire needs to go here in the ground in that slot mess of solder. And the white wire needs to go on this terminal right here. So I'm going to wire those up and go from there. Okay, once again, not the cleanest job, but that's in there and it's solid. So now we can tuck all this garbage in here. It's nice to have all that extra lead if I ever want to swap stuff out of there. I'll go bolt this all up and then, oh no, wait, no. We still have to swap the tuners. So that should be easy. For this, all you really need, it won't even focus. I have a Phillips screwdriver with a really small head on it. And then you just take each bolt out individually, and then the tuners should pop right out, unless I can't remember if, oops. Yeah, I think you have to take these out too, these nuts right here. I don't know what size. I like how my light every time I make a video it just dies. I need a better light. So not quite 7/8. It's probably metric because it's Chinesium junk. Let's see. There we go, 10 mil. Perfect. So I will get working on that. Cool. So got all the tuners out. Came out nice and easy. No issues anywhere. There they are. Here are all the new ones. So we'll throw those in now. Alright, got the backs all bolted up. I don't know if there's anybody watching this that's never installed tuners before, but it's super easy. It's just one bolt here. You push them through. And then you get these little washers. Plop it on there. I think that one's upside down. So that's not the shiny side up. There we go. And then these little bolts that go down into the cavity right here. And you just tighten those. And then that's it. So I'll get the rest of these mounted properly. Cool. Got these all on. Now the next thing is the strings, which went through 10 through 52. As you can see, stringing up a Floyd is always a ton of fun. It's been a while since I've done one, but I set this guitar up for standard tuning before I tore it apart, so hopefully that still works. But I bought heavier gauge strings, so who knows if we'll have to adjust this. As far as I know, adjusting these is just a crapshoot. You just got to keep trying until you get it. And once you get it, you're golden. So, time to do this, and I'll try not to poke my eye out. So stringing up a Floyd, there's the ball end right there. What I usually do is run the open end through this first, and then straight down into the block. And how it works on a Floyd, you have this right here. You loosen this, it moves back, it takes pressure off this block right here, and you put the string, you tuck it in there and crank it down, and then that usually holds it in place if you do it right. If you don't tighten it too much or you over tighten it, the block will break. If you under tighten it, your string's going to pop out. So it's been, like I said, a long time before I've done one of these, so I'm going to try it, see how it goes. All right, got it all strung up, chrome tuners on. Now the fun part is tuning a Floyd Rose. I'm sure there's some people in here that have their own tips and tricks that they do, but every time you change one string, all the other ones change. So you just got to keep gradually going there, unless some people have another trick that I haven't thought of. But that's the next step, and then we'll go upstairs, plug it in, and see what the hell it sounds like. Hopefully pretty cool, since it's got a Paul Reed Smith pickup in it now that's coil tapped, and a Bill Lawrence L500. I'm sure it'll be a hell of a lot better than what was in it. So I'm going to mess with this, try and get it set up as best I can and tuned, and we will go from there. I got it mostly tuned. The cool thing about Floyd's is the fine tuners right here. I've always liked those. So when you crunch these down, it'll probably go a little sharp, but that's where the fine tuners come in. And then you can adjust it from there, and we'll see how well this thing stays in tune. Since I put the heavier gauge strings on it, it points up just a little bit, but I will adjust that at another time. I don't feel like messing with it. And frankly, after having this thing for a while and messing with it, I kind of want to just go play it. This adjustment, all you would do is crank those 3 springs back on the back of the guitar. There's 2 screws to go into the body. You just crank those in a little bit, and it should straighten this out, and then you can adjust your tuning from there. So I have this set up in standard, so we'll tighten these down, fine tune it, plug it in, hope it sounds freaking awesome. All right, so now we got it plugged in, hooked up, ready to go. We'll do clean channel with the Bill Lawrence L500XL. Now we'll go to the neck pickup, that PRS. And it doesn't work. So I'm gonna hook those coil taps back together and hope it works, because I knew there'd be a little bit of volume drop, but I'm getting nothing. Unless you go to distortion, you get a little bit, but I don't know. It's on this switch, so it's coming out of this, but I just don't know. So either this thing's junk, or I'm going to triple check my wiring on it, make sure I have it right. But this is what I get on distortion. Which is virtually nothing. You can hear it kind of, the buzz. And I have the pickup very close to the string. But then you go back to the Lawrence, you know, and it's... Sounds pretty damn good to me. So we'll put the trim bar back on. See how well it holds the tune, if any. Actually, not that bad. I mean, granted, these are brand new strings, so they're still stretching out a little bit. I just put them on maybe 15 minutes ago, but it seems to hold the tune all right. This pickup right here just pisses me off, but not bad. I mean, it sounds nice and gainy. Obviously, it's Bill Lawrence. It's not bad. So I'm just going to try and figure out this neck pickup issue, which is pissing me off because there's no reason for it not to work. It's a bridge pickup from PRS, so my wiring diagram is correct. But then the only other issue I had was the locking nut up here. This stripped out when I went to tighten it down. But I have a screw that was just slightly bigger, and it's like, who gives a shit if it's mismatched? I'll go to a hardware store later, get one that matches this, because this one sits nice and tight, and that way it at least looks, you know, I know it's supposed to be a fake Dean from hell, but who cares? But not a bad guitar overall. I mean, after the pickup swap, stays in tune all right with this cheap Floyd. I don't even know if that's a real licensed or if it's even a fake licensed, but this pisses me off, but I'm going to fix it. Because why not? If not, I'll just throw a whole nother pickup in there. Forget the PRS stuff. So we'll go for that video next.